Sean's my name. I'm with the Cornell Small Farms program, and today we're going to talk about Bokashi Fertilizer. We're going to go through each ingredient, and we're going to show you how to do the preparation, and then we're going to end by discussing the application rates for the final product. This video is designed to give you a scalable recipe for producing Bokashi, and we recommend pausing the video and grabbing a notebook to write down the steps. Every time we show a slide with text, if you like, pause the video and copy down the slide. If you take the time to do this, by the end of the video, you'll have a recipe for making your own Bokashi, and thus a recipe for improving the fertility of your soil. Bokashi is a fermented organic soil amendment that functions as an inoculant and a fertility builder. The Bokashi process is the aerobic semi-decomposition of organic matter under controlled conditions. This process is shorter in duration than traditional composting methods, and it can produce a significant amount of organic fertilizer, and it only takes 15 days. The final product is a dry, gray-colored heap that's teeming with soil microorganisms like bacteria, fungi, nematodes, protozoa, all of which create a diverse soil ecosystem, and thus a healthy soil. Once added to the soil, these organisms continue to break down the Bokashi, providing long-term fertility for your plants. So for our ingredients, we have 9 ingredients for our Bokashi. We have manure, we have hulls of some sort, it's a cellulose source. We have your soil, charcoal, bran or bran polishings, rock dust or ashes and/or ashes, yeast, water, and molasses. The water, the yeast, and the molasses will get mixed together. Okay, so for preparation, we're going to layer each ingredient. We're going to layer our hulls, then our soil, then the manure, charcoal, then the rock dust, and the ashes. And then we're going to start mixing, and as we're mixing, we're going to mix in the water, yeast, and molasses, and then continue to hydrate as we turn and mix the pile until we get it to around 50% moisture. All right, and so here we're gonna do mixing. We're doing it, we've moved over to the woods. So we're out of the sunlight, which is extremely important. And then when this is made, I can cover it with a tarp to keep it out of the rain. So the way this is mixed is just by layering, as we discussed earlier. I prefer to mix, layer it in a windrow like this, long and skinny. That way we can just mix one end and know that that end is mixed well. Just because we're doing such a big pile and I don't have lots of people here, I'm gonna pre-mix this first and then add my water, molasses, and yeast to this. Otherwise I get clumps in my experience. And this is molasses and yeast. Helps to use some warm water with the yeast to get it to dissolve. We want to use all this, and then if we need more liquid to hydrate it to 50%, we'll just use water. This is different from compost in a lot of ways. And what you would do with compost is we're only going to hydrate this pile once. It's going to get hot once, and that's it. Because we want it semi-decomposed. We don't want it to fully decompose. We want it to finish decomposing in the soil, which is going to release CO2 from the soil, which your plants need, as well as ethylene. So we want a really homogeneous mixture. So it's hard to, I mean, you can obviously see some of the individual components, but we're looking for just a good overall mix. Whereas here, so we have less of a mix. You still see rock dust, charcoal. You really want to get these things really, really well mixed together. And then for our humidity, you take some in your hand, squeeze it into a ball. Does it hold the ball? Yes. Does it break? Yes. If it didn't break, we'd probably be too wet. If it doesn't hold a ball, it's not quite wet enough. And we do with Bokashi, you want to err on the side of dry, not wet. So I'll probably keep mixing this because I think we're close, and I probably won't hydrate it anymore. Cover this thing, put it to bed, come out here in about 2 days and check the temperature. When it gets hot enough, we'll turn it. When it gets to the point that it's hot enough that you can't keep your hands in there, you're gonna turn it twice a day for 3 days, and then you're gonna turn it once a day after that for 7 more days. And then leave it to sit, and on day 15, it's ready to use. Yeah, so when this is done, this is good for 2 months. And then after 2 months, it's more closely related to compost. So after 2 months, you could use this Bokashi as the soil in your next Bokashi. When you're ready to apply your Bokashi, it's important to remember that Bokashi is only semi-decomposed and that it continues to break down in the soil. Because of this, you should not place Bokashi directly onto the plant. These slides illustrate the application techniques and the application rates for either annuals or perennials. For those folks that are interested in the science of this, I've glazed over a lot of the detail about what's going on here, and I've just made approximations about a deeper truth, as with all things. It can be explained on different levels. And with Bokashi, personally, for most folks, there's no need to go into the detail, into the scientific weeds, if you will, but we can very much have a discussion about this in terms of biophysics and biochemistry, as well as discuss Bokashi and its preparation in the same way in which we would make cookies or make a cake. Now you have the ability to produce fertility at your farm, at your house or your home, and we hope that you and your plants and your soil are happier now that you have Bokashi in your pocket. For more information and additional content, visit smallfarms.cornell.edu.